what has your writing journey been like up until this point?
Wow, it's been very long.
Feel that. Feel that.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of its own story at this point. But it was always something that
Like,
I wanted to do since I was a very little kid. I can remember I wanted to be a writer. I wanted to tell stories. I have a very vivid memory of sitting down um, in my grandma's kitchen at the kitchen table with this notebook and like all these loose leaf sheets of paper. And I was writing my first novel. I was like 11, 12 years old, and my family was in the living room watching Days of Thunder. And
well,
yeah, I know, right? And I missed it. It was years before I actually
Jeez.
saw it. But
Wow.
but that's kind of been like what has been like the thing that I wanted, most, and everything like that. And so my first book actually came out. I self-published it in 2007,
Oh,
and
wow.
this was back in the halcyon days of
Yeah.
self-publishing. And it was a wild time. It was the Wild West. You had like Ex Libris and Author House, and all these places up there, and they're like, get your books, yeah, get your books published. And we had the idea then, because and they weren't like at first they weren't like clarifying that, like, just because we published our books through them didn't mean that it wasn't going to be in Barnes and Noble or Hastings or
Yeah.
Borders or whatever was around back then. And so that's what a lot of these people thought. And so these people were paying out. I mean, like these guys were charging exorbitant sums of money for like
Oh,
this
yeah.
self-published garbage. And basically all you were getting was a poorly put together book and like bookmarks and this was like $3,000. And
Oh, yeah.
so after going and looking around at all this stuff and being like, that's really weird, well, I'm going to do it myself. And so back then, the one of the only sites that would let you like publish your own book like that was Lulu.
Oh,
And
yeah. Yeah.
yeah, and so and I'm talking like this was a primitive thing, and there was no like book wizard and all of that type of stuff. I had to go into Word and set the margins on the document itself, and and so this was my first like journey into how to craft a book, how to actually lay out and format and create the book itself as a thing. And so Lulu was, my first experience with that. And then, that book I published in, 2007, 2008 is whenever that came out. And then since then, I've published, my other books, and two of which were finalists in the New Mexico Arizona Book Awards. So Eve was a finalist, and the first Ruined Man novel were both finalists in the New Mexico Arizona Book Awards. And fingers crossed this coming year, Those Left Behind will be too, or hopefully win. That would be nice.
Yeah.
And so that's it's just been something that I have has it's been my dream. And so this year. I took another big step, I guess, in my writing journey, and started my own publishing company.
Oh,
With Yeah, with the idea of publishing positive stories for men and boys. And
oh,
so and so that's kind of what I'm trying to do and give back. And so Those Left Behind is kind of my first offering, I guess, as far as this new publishing company, this new venture is concerned. And so I'm excited for the future and to see where this is going to lead.